If the pursuit for my dreams over the last 10 years has taught me anything, it's this. As we grow up, we sometimes tend to overlook the voice of our inner child. But if we dare listen to it, we get to reconnect with the purest and freest parts of ourselves, the parts that dream fearlessly and love unconditionally. I dedicate this long-awaited moment of achieving my dream to the free child in each and every single one of us. May their hopes and dreams become a guiding light, shining down a path filled with endless possibilities and boundless joy.
Welcome to the podcast, everyone. My name is Jack Birding, or Jayesha, but most likely Jack Birding for most of you that know me. And I'd like to just get right into it by welcoming you to this space. I've been so excited to share something like this with you for the longest time, and it's been the most beautiful journey of insecurity, of judging myself, of learning how to just allow myself to be imperfect and to be just be human. And throughout it all, this long journey, I first got this podcast gear 3 years ago. And wow, it just feels so surreal recording this episode for the first time. Truth be told, actually, this is the third time I've recorded this episode, but this one feels right. This is going to be the one that I release. And to make it more personal, throughout this whole time, the past 3 months or so, I've been trying to revisit creativity in a way that has felt healthy for me, and that's felt fun, and not like I have to prove my worth or to prove myself or to gain approval from you. And I've been doing a lot of heavy meditating, a lot of thinking, a lot of feeling, lots of crying, lots of low lows, and lots of high highs too. And what became my compass north through all of this time was on my desk, my mom put an old photo album. I'm literally looking at it right now of all these old photos from her life and from when me and my sisters were growing up. And on the very top of this album was a picture of young me, 3 years old. And I looked at this picture and just thought, wow, I remember that picture being taken. I remember how free I felt. I remember how magical I felt. I just remember every single day I went to school just bouncing off the walls with energy. I couldn't wait to see my friends. I couldn't wait to play. I couldn't wait to drink water from the water fountain. I couldn't wait for lunchtime. I mean, there was just so much to be excited about. And I remember seeing the picture on the wall and thinking, is that really what I look like? Because they took our school pictures and they cut out the head, and then they had this paper body, and we got to color and decorate the paper body. So it was like every single one of us was hanging up on the wall. And I remember when I finished my body, they took my head cut out and they put it on the wall. And I was like, is that really me? Whoa. And I was like, do I really smile like that? Because as you can see in the picture, I had those two little buck teeth popping out of my mouth. And I remember I smiled like that because I was fired up. They were like, smile. And I was like, yeah, let's go. And man, just reminiscing even right now about the state of being, just who I was back then. All I knew was magic. Magic was everything. Everything was free and beautiful and just so lovely. And ever since, I took that picture and I propped it up on my desk so that I'm always looking at it. I'm literally propping it back up right now as we speak. And it's been my compass north. And at a certain point, it just kind of clicked to me that while I was thinking about the brand that I want to produce for myself, but really when I say brand, I just mean ideology. What's the ideology that I want to put forth that I want to share with others? Because I have something inside of me that I just so badly want to share, that I want to scream from the mountaintops. But it's hard for me to put a pin on it. My mind is all over the place, as if you know me. I'm sure you know. And sometimes it can be hard for me to find borders within this to express it in a way that is cohesive and makes sense. And I realized in a moment while I was doing this meditation where I was trying to visualize, it was actually a Gabby Bernstein meditation. If you don't know who Gabby Bernstein is, definitely check her out. She's awesome. My mom got me hooked on her. She's a manifestation coach, and she was guiding me through a meditation where, well, it was a recording of her. We're not homies just yet, but this recording of her was guiding me through a meditation. And she said, I want you to pick an image of what you want to bring into your life. what you want to embody, what you want your life to look like. And I thought about it, and I turned to the picture on my desk and I said, that's what I want. I want life to feel like that again. I want it to feel magical. I want myself to feel free. I want every single corner to be a new adventure. I want every single moment to be enough. I don't want to have to constantly be thinking about the past and what I could have been doing differently to have lived in a more happy way, or be ruminating about the past, or be obsessing about the future and how I can perfectly calculate the best way to get the biggest payoff for life, because right now is not enough. There's an inner child within every single one of us. That is who we are. And slowly growing up, it slowly slips away from us. And it's confusing and overwhelming, and sometimes we don't know what happened to it. But as with the quote that I included from the beginning of this podcast, who was Amar from Yes Theory, after he achieved his childhood dream, or a childhood dream of his, he's a big dreamer, so he has a lot, of skydiving over the pyramids. And he got to do it with his dad, which made me really emotional, because I really see their relationship in a very similar way to my dad and I. For a long time, his dad didn't really understand exactly what he was trying to do with Yes Theory. And I can relate to this. It's hard to describe exactly what Amar always calls himself Free Child, and that hardcore resonate with that. And it's hard to put a pin on what exactly that is. What does it mean to be a free child? But he went skydiving with his dad over the pyramids, and they had this moment where they just looked at each other in the eyes. And I could just see that his dad finally understood what all these years of Amar being away from his home for 7 years, having to have that separation from his family, having to walk a path that was so unique and so different from the traditional life that everyone around him was telling him to walk. But Amar was willing to put away all of that in the pursuit of a felt experience of freedom. That freedom that we come into the world inherently knowing and being. That inner child that, as Amar said, loves unconditionally, and dreams fiercely. And in that moment, his dad looked at him in the eyes after they'd done the skydive, and I could just see in his dad's eyes that he had this deep felt experience of freedom, and he understood Amar. He understood that this is bigger than life. It's bigger than his interpersonal relationships. It's bigger than family. It's because it includes all of those things. In walking the path that Amar chose to walk, by pursuing freedom, by pursuing his dreams, he's inspired all of those around him, so many of those around him, to do the same. And now including his dad, because his dad was terrified of doing this jump and chose to do it anyway. And he understood. And yeah, I just thought that was so beautiful. It was almost like the bridge between generations. And that quote that Amar says that I included at the beginning of this podcast, I think really summarizes my ethos the most concisely. And that is that I'd like to dedicate this space to the inner child that is within every single one of us. The name Jayesha was a name given to me when I visited a monk named Dada Veda. And Dada Veda said, when you choose to walk the spiritual walk, you are given a new name. And at first I was a little skeptical, because I like my name, Jack. It's a little cliche, but we roll with it. But he said, your name is Jayesha, and that means he who is victorious. And in that moment, I felt like cold water had just been poured over me. I felt the chills. I felt so seen, that someone had looked right into my soul and seen me for who I really am. Jayesha to me is victorious, means he who is victorious, not because I'm a winner, not because I win in competitions, but because I'm free. I have a deep desire for love, to love unconditionally, and to dream fiercely, and to tap back into that magical lifestyle, that magical state of being that is everything, that is who we are. Jayesha is the one who is on a journey to see himself in all things, dark and light, all of it. To know beauty in that relationship of being able to see something and say, I understand. Even though it freaking sucks and it's so shitty, that shittiness is a compass north of its own because it shows us that we're going in the wrong direction. Everything in life, to me, is asking us to step more deeply back into the inner child, back into love and freedom. Whether it be those things that ask us to step into love and freedom by bringing us pain and in doing so revealing to us who we're not, or by bringing us deep bliss and joy, showing us that this is who you are. But it's all pointing us back to our true nature as humans, which is free and beautiful and infinite, unconditionally loving and fiercely dreaming. What a freaking privilege it is to be alive. To end this podcast, we're just going to do a quick meditation. I know I've been pretty fired up, but let's just take a deep breath here. Just allow yourself, wherever you are, just to settle in. In this moment, there's nothing you have to do. Release any tension that you're feeling in your body. Take your tongue off the roof of your mouth. Relax your shoulders. Stop clenching your stomach. Maybe you're clenching your butt. Just allow yourself to settle into this moment. Now what I want you to do is I want you to think about you when you were just coming into this world. Some of your first memories, 3, 4 years old. The kid that I just described to you of me when I was a little kid, I want you to think of that same image for yourself. Maybe it's playing with your friends. Maybe it's playing with your parents, your siblings. Maybe it's running around your neighborhood, playing magical games, pretending that you're a fairy. Whatever it is, I want you to really remember what it was like being a little kid and remember a moment where life felt magical. Maybe think about who was with you. Think about what you guys were doing. And all that I want you to do now is to look at that kid and just notice them. Just notice that he, she, they, that they're still there. That person is still you. And then I want you to look at that kid and I just want you to tell them that you love them so much. Thank you guys so much for coming to this space. You can slowly start to come out of that relaxed feeling, or you can stay in it. I'll let you decide. Thank you so much for giving me the space to express myself. And I'm so excited to embark on this beautiful, beautiful journey with you. This is the space, a space, where the inner child, the child that is all of us, will roam free. I love all of you, and I'll see you next time.